recently came upon a reptile species while I was searching for inspirational animals for creature design. The reptile that I'm trying to illustrate here is called the Tuatara. I found out that when looking for inspiration in creature design, the Tuatara is a fascinating subject that can spark the imagination in countless ways. As an ancient reptile found only in New Zealand, the Tuatara offers a unique blend of evolutionary traits that make it stand out, and its distinctive characteristics can provide a wealth of ideas for creating creatures that feel both familiar and otherworldly. The Tuatara is one of the most unique reptiles on the planet. Even though it looks a lot like a lizard, it's actually in a class all its own. It belongs to an ancient order called Rhynchocephalia, which once thrived during the age of dinosaurs, but has almost entirely died out. Today, the Tuatara is the only species left from that order, making it a sort of a living fossil, though it has evolved in its own way over time. The Tuatara's lineage as a living fossil is a perfect jumping off point for designing creatures that feel ancient and steeped in history. The fact that the Tuatara belongs to an ancient group of reptiles that thrived in the Mesozoic era gives it a deep evolutionary story. Designers can take this idea of a species that has survived millennia, imagining creatures that have endured countless environmental shifts and catastrophes, but have remained resilient, perhaps even outlasting more dominant species. The idea of a creature that carries a rich biological history reflected in its physical form could evoke an aura of mystery and power in a fictional world. The name Tuatara comes from the Maori language and means peaks on the back, which refers to the spiny ridge that runs down its back. Despite its ancient lineage, the Tuatara has changed in ways that make it really interesting to scientists studying evolution. Despite its sometimes called a living fossil, this term is up for debate because the Tuatara has adapted and changed in response to its environment, even developing a genome that's more complex than a human's. Physically, the Tuatara's spiny crest along its back is one of its most striking features that can inspire a wide variety of creature designs. This row of spines, especially prominent in males, not only gives the Tuatara a unique silhouette, but also serves practical purposes in displays of dominance. For creature design, a similar feature could be used to evoke strength, aggression, or even provide functional protection. A spiny ridge could be exaggerated to create a more fearsome look, with larger, sharper spines that shift or flare up depending on the creature's mood or actions. This trait could be blended with armor-like scales or bioluminescent elements to add both aesthetic and functional qualities. Another very interesting fact about Tuatara is that they have a third eye on the top of their heads. It's called a parietal eye, and while you can see it in young Tuatara, it becomes less noticeable as they grow older. Scientists think it might help them regulate their body temperature or keep track of their sleep cycles. So I think another area of inspiration lies in this third eye. Though it becomes less visible as the Tuatara matures, this unusual feature could be reimagined as a fully functioning eye that plays a major role in a character or creature's behavior. Perhaps the third eye could be tied to a better perception, giving the creature a supernatural sense of awareness, or serve as a biological marker for advanced age and wisdom. In a more fantastical setting, it could be designed as a glowing mystical feature that channels some form of elemental energy or foresight, adding a layer of intrigue and power to the creature. Another one of their most distinct features is their teeth. Tuatara have 2 rows of teeth on the top of their mouths and 1 row on the bottom. What's really unique is that these teeth are fused to their jawbone, and since they don't grow back, older Tuatara eventually need to switch to softer food as their teeth wear down. So their teeth and jaw structure offer another rich avenue for exploration, with 2 rows of upper teeth overlapping a single row on the lower jaw, and teeth that don't regenerate. The Tuatara's feeding habits could inspire designs for creatures with specialized or unusual diets. Imagine a creature whose ancient and deteriorating teeth force it to adapt its eating habits over time, adding an interesting dynamic to its life cycle. Alternatively, the dental arrangement could be expanded to create a fearsome biting mechanism where multiple rows of razor-sharp teeth deliver a powerful bone-crushing bite. Physically, tuataras already look cool enough. They are like small dragons. They can grow up to about 80 centimeters in length, with males being larger than females. Their color usually ranges from gray to greenish brown, which helps them blend into their surroundings. They also have pretty good vision and hearing, although their ears aren't external like ours and have primitive hearing organs. But they rely on their sense of smell for hunting prey, avoiding predators, or interacting with their surroundings since they possess a large number of odorant receptors. The spiny plates along the back and tail of the tuatara are more similar to those of a crocodile than a lizard. However, like lizards, the tuatara can detach its tail when captured by a predator and regenerate it later. Regeneration of their tail is also inspiring for creature design. Tuatara are nocturnal, but the young ones are sometimes active during the day to avoid being eaten by adults, which can be a bit cannibalistic. They like cooler climates, which is unusual for reptiles. If it gets too warm though, they can die, so hot temperatures are dangerous for them. So in terms of environment, the tuatara's preference for cooler climates and its nocturnal habits can inspire creatures that thrive in dark, cold environments. These creatures might have adaptations like enhanced night vision, thermal regulation, that help them navigate their surroundings. The tuatara like to share burrows with seabirds, and this tendency could inspire symbiotic relationships in creature design where different species cohabitate or rely on one another for survival. One of the biggest challenges the tuatara has faced is predation from introduced species like rats. And tuataras are also known for their slow reproductive process. They don't even reach sexual maturity until they are between 10 and 20 years old, and females only lay eggs every 4 years or so. But despite all these challenges, tuatara are known for their longevity. They can live well over 60 years in the wild, and in captivity they've been known to surpass 100 years of age. In fact, one famous tuatara named Henry became a father at the age of 111. Conservation efforts have helped to protect them from these threats, and reintroduction projects have even brought tuatara back to New Zealand's mainland, where they had been missing for centuries. The tuatara holds a significant place in Maori culture, where it is regarded as an ariki, which means a god form and the messenger of Biro, the god of death and disaster. It also marks sacred boundaries, and crossing these boundaries could have serious consequences. Maori women were forbidden from eating tuatara and sometimes tattooed lizards' images, possibly representing tuatara near their genitals. Today, the tuatara is considered a special treasure and a guardian of knowledge. The tuatara appears on New Zealand's 5-cent coin and also lent its name to a scientific journal in the past. So I learned that the tuatara is more than just an ancient reptile. It's a symbol of New Zealand's rich natural heritage and fascinating subject for scientists. And with the ongoing conservation efforts, there's hope that these remarkable creatures will hopefully remain a living link to the distant past for generations to come. So I'm really happy that I started making research about animals. This reptile species is fascinating. It's a treasure trove of evolutionary quirks and distinctive traits that can inspire endless creative possibilities. From its spiny crest and unique eye to its ancient origins and survival adaptations, the tuatara's characteristic can spark the imagination and lead to the creation of creatures that feel truly alive and steeped in their own natural history. I really hope I will be using all this knowledge later on, whether for designing a fantastical monster or a more grounded animal. So I plan to continue this series of drawing and learning about new species, and I hope I will be back with another study like this in the upcoming weeks.